That night, the river roared. Waves rose like angry giants, lightning flashed, and in the middle of it stood Amara. But she was no longer human. Her eyes glowed red, her hair floated like smoke, and her body shone with scales of silver. On the sand, her husband Obinna fell to his knees. "Amara, please, forgive me," he cried. Her voice cut through the storm. "You betrayed me, Obinna. Now the river will take you." The water rushed forward. A huge wave wrapped around him like a hand, dragging him into the deep. His scream was swallowed by the sea. The villagers ran, terrified. That night, they warned their children. Never betray love. Never betray a spirit. But how did the story of Obinna and Amara begin? Obinna was the poorest fisherman in his village. His net was torn, his canoe leaked, and no matter how hard he tried, the river gave him nothing. Other fishermen mocked him. "Obinna, even crabs run from your net. Go beg in the market instead." But Obinna was stubborn. He wanted more than fish. He wanted love, wealth, and respect. One evening, when the sun was sinking red into the horizon, he walked alone by the forbidden part of the ocean. Elders warned the young, never go there after sunset. The water spirits hunt for souls at night. Obinna ignored them. Hunger pushed him forward. Then he saw her. A woman sat on a black rock near the waves. Her skin glowed like moonlight, her hair fell long and dark, and her eyes were deep as the river itself. Obinna froze. His heart raced. He had never seen beauty like this. The woman turned her head slowly. Her voice was soft, like the sound of water. "Why do you stare at me, fisherman?" Forgive me," Obinna stammered. "I have never seen anyone like you before." She smiled, and the river seemed to move with her smile. "Then maybe you were meant to find me." That night, Obinna's life changed forever. From that night, the mysterious woman began to appear to Obinna. She called herself Amara. She never came during the day, only at twilight, when the river turned black and the air grew heavy. Soon, Amara followed him into the village. Men stared in envy, women gossiped, mothers shook their heads. But Obinna didn't care. He was in love. He married her. Against all warnings, against all whispers, he made Amara his wife. From that day, everything changed. His nets filled with fish. His canoe no longer leaked. Gold coins appeared in his pocket as if the river itself had chosen him. For the first time in his life, Obinna ate like a king. But one night, as the moon burned bright, Amara turned to him with serious eyes. Her voice was sharp, her face fierce. "Listen to me, Obinna. There are 3 rules you must never break." Obinna nodded quickly. "Tell me." She lifted her hand and counted with her fingers. "Never follow me when I go to the river at midnight. Never ask me where I come from. And never speak about things you do not understand." Her voice grew cold. "If you love me, you will obey." Obinna swallowed hard and nodded. At that moment, he meant it. He thought love was enough. But curiosity is a dangerous seed. And Obinna had already planted it. Obinna tried. For many nights, he closed his eyes when Amara rose from their bed at midnight. He told himself he loved her, that her secrets were hers alone. But the whispers in his head grew louder. Why only at midnight? What does she hide in the ocean? Who is she, really? One full moon night, he could no longer resist. Amara slipped quietly out of the hut, her shadow long in the silver light. Obinna waited, heart pounding, then followed. The river was calm, glowing under the moon. And there, at the water's edge, he saw her. Not as his wife. Not as the woman he thought he knew. Her legs were gone. In their place stretched a glittering tail, scales shining emerald and gold. She sat on a rock, combing her hair with a golden comb, singing a song that made the waves dance. Obinna's breath caught. His knees trembled. He had married not a woman, but a spirit. He gasped. Too loud. Amara's head snapped around. Her eyes glowed like burning coals. You spied on me. Obinna dropped to his knees in the sand. I couldn't help it. Forgive me, Amara. Please forgive me. Her voice was ice. You broke the first rule. And trust, once broken, can never be repaired. The waves behind her rose higher, hissing like snakes. She vanished into the sea, leaving Obinna shaking, alone, and terrified. From that night, their joy began to rot. After that night at the ocean, Obinna felt the change. At first, it was small. His net came up lighter. His canoe rocked strangely on calm water. The gold coins that once filled his pouch were gone as if the river had swallowed them back. Then the whispers started in the village. Obinna's wife is not human. She has locked his manhood. That woman will ruin us all. Even his own mother spat at him in the market. You brought a curse into this family. That woman will drag you into the sea. Obinna tried to deny it, but fear gripped his heart. At night, Amara's eyes seemed sharper, colder. She no longer laughed at his jokes. Her silence was heavy, her presence frightening. Years passed. Their home remained childless. The women in the village mocked him openly. What kind of man marries the river and expects a child? Obinna's pride crumbled. Hunger returned. His belly growled like before, his nets empty, his canoe cracked. Desperate, he went to a ritualist, a dark man whose eyes glowed like coals. The man listened quietly, then leaned close. Your wife is no woman. She is Mami Wata. If you want to live, you must bind her spirit before she destroys you. Obinna swallowed hard. Bind her. How? The ritualist placed a chalk and a knife in his hand. Draw the circle of binding around her while she sleeps. Speak the words I have given you. If you fail, his eyes flashed, the river itself will rise against you. Obinna's hands shook. Fear battled with desperation. But when he thought of hunger, shame, and the villagers' laughter, he made his choice. That night, as Amara lay sleeping, Obinna lifted the chalk. The moon was high when Obinna began. Amara lay beside him, her breathing soft and steady. Obinna's hands trembled as he drew the chalk circle around the mat. Sweat dripped from his forehead onto the floor. The words of the ritualist burned in his mind. He whispered them shakily, his voice breaking. But before he could finish, the air shifted. The room grew heavy, the candles blew out, and cold wind swept through the hut. Amara's eyes opened. They glowed red. Obinna froze, the chalk falling from his hand. His lips would not move. His body shook. You tried to bind me. Her voice was no longer soft. It was thunder and crashing waves in human form. Amara. I only wanted my life back. I only wanted. Her scream cut him short. The ground shook. The hot walls rattled. You fool. You thought you could chain the ocean. Her hair lifted like a storm cloud, whipping around her face. The chalk circle cracked, the lines bursting like lightning. The mat lifted off the ground and split apart. Obinna covered his face, weeping. Forgive me. I beg you. But forgiveness was gone. Amara's body shimmered, scales spreading across her skin. Her tail flashed in the dim light before the hut exploded in a gust of saltwater spray. When Obinna uncovered his face, she was gone. The river had called her back. But Obinna knew it was not the end. Deep inside his chest, he felt it, like thunder waiting in the distance. The storm was coming. The village woke to a sky black as midnight, though the sun had not yet set. The wind howled like a beast, tearing palm trees from the earth. Chickens scattered, roofs flew, and the river roared louder than thunder. The elders cried out, "Mami Wata has risen. Obinna has angered the ocean." Men grabbed their children and ran for the hills. Women screamed and fell to their knees in prayer. But Obinna did not run. His feet dragged him to the shore, as if something inside him wanted to face what he had unleashed. The waves split open. And from the heart of the water, she rose. Amara. Her beauty was gone. Her face was sharp with rage, her hair a storm cloud whipping across the sky. Her eyes burned like fire. Scales covered her arms, and her long silver tail thrashed the river into madness. Around her, spirits of the deep twisted in the waves, laughing, whispering, calling. Their voices chilled the villagers to the bone. Obinna fell to his knees in the sand, rain pouring over him. Amara. Please. I was weak. But I loved you. I still love you. Her laughter caught the sky. Love. You broke every vow. You spied on me. You betrayed me. You tried to bind me like a goat. Love is not betrayal, Obinna. Love is trust. Obinna crawled forward on his hands and knees, choking on salt water. If that is what you want, take me. But spare the village. For a heartbeat, her eyes softened. The storm paused. Then her face hardened again. Her voice was final. You are mine, Obinna. And mine you shall remain, forever. The river rose like a wall and came crashing down. The wall of water crashed down, swallowing Obinna whole. His scream was lost in the roar of the ocean. Beneath the surface, the sea was alive. Shadows moved like beasts, hands of spirits reached for him, pulling him deeper. His chest burned as he fought for breath, but there was no escape. And then, he saw her. Amara. Her face floated before him, glowing faintly in the dark water. Her hand touched his cheek, not with love but with finality. Her voice echoed in his head, soft yet merciless. Forever mine. Obinna shook his head violently, bubbles escaping his mouth. He tried to push her away, but her grip was strong, her tail wrapping around him like chains. He saw flashes, his mother weeping, the villagers screaming, his broken canoe drifting on the waves. And then only darkness. The last thing Obinna heard was Amara's laugh, cold and sharp, as she dragged him into the abyss. Above, the storm ended as quickly as it began. The waves calmed. The sky cleared. The river lay still, shining under the moonlight as if nothing had happened. But Obinna was gone. The villagers came down from the hills at dawn. All they found on the beach was his canoe, cracked in two, and his fishing net tangled in the sand. His mother tore her clothes, wailing. The river has taken my son. Her cry carried across the shore, a warning that echoed for generations. From that day, no one dared fish at the forbidden shore again. From that night, Obinna's name was no longer spoken with pity. It was spoken with fear. Mothers whispered to their children as they hushed them to sleep. Do not wander to the river after sunset. Remember Obinna. Young men mocked each other in the marketplace. You want to end like Obinna. Marrying a spirit with hungry eyes. And when the waves grew rough, the elders shook their heads. The river is restless. It remembers the betrayal. It remembers Obinna. Even at weddings, when brides and grooms exchanged vows, the priestess would raise her hand and declare, do not betray love, do not betray trust, lest you be dragged away like Obinna. But the curse was not only in words. On nights of the full moon, fishermen swore they heard it, the muffled cry of a drowning man echoing beneath the water. Some said they saw a hand, pale and desperate, reach above the waves before vanishing again. Others swore they saw her, Amara, sitting on a rock in the distance, combing her hair with her golden comb. Her laughter floated across the water, soft and chilling, as if mocking the living. Years turned into decades, but the river never gave Obinna back. His body was never found, his soul never freed. The elders said the sea had claimed him as its own, and that his spirit wandered beneath the waves, chained to Amara forever. When storms rose suddenly on calm days, the villagers whispered, "Obinna is struggling again. Amara is dragging him deeper." On nights when the full moon painted the river silver, people swore they heard two voices, one crying in pain, the other laughing with cruel delight. Travelers passing through the coast heard the tale and carried it far beyond the village. Soon, Obinna's story spread across towns and kingdoms, until mothers everywhere warned their children. Never betray a vow. Never betray love. And never mock the spirits of the water, for they always take their due.